Yo, this is JC. I want to give a shout out to WarRoomSportsTV.com. If you're not familiar, get familiar. They fucks with your boy, I fucks with them, man.
What's up, War Room Nation? Welcome to Operation Battle Rap. This is a special edition. This is actually our first sit-down interview, and we have none other than the homie Chilla Jones. Chilla, man, thank you for coming on. I just gotta tell you that, I just gotta tell you that we asked around about who should we do the first sit-down interview with, because this is different from our recaps of the battles. And there were a couple names that are very high on the list, yourself as well as B Magic. So got a lot of fan support out there. We went to the different forums and asked around, and you're one of the guys they want to see. So gotta let you know that before we start.
Word, that's dope, man. That's real dope.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that, man. So let's get into it, man.
Absolutely. Before we even jump into the battle rap, man, we know that you rep Boston unlike any other battle rapper before you. So I have to ask, what were your thoughts when you saw that tragedy happen in your city with the marathon?
Crazy, man. It's one of those things that I think a lot of people don't think can happen in their city or can happen to them or to people they know. You know what I'm saying? So it's wild when something like that happens 20 minutes from the crib, like right there. You know what I'm saying? Like the city was literally on lockdown, like couldn't go nowhere, like it was basically martial law for a day or so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is crazy. But nah, man, that whole situation, man. It's sad, man. It's fucked up that shit like that happens, man. Excuse my language, but
yeah, it's all good. Yeah,
that's wild, man. Shit like that is crazy. Like that shit is different for me having a daughter running around that same area. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it hits a little closer to home, so to speak. You know what I mean? But
I can only imagine, because we all know that you rep for your city hard, and there's not too many people. Or people are coming up now, but when people think of, I guess, the battle rap scene in Boston, you're the name that comes to mind. So had to ask you that question before we got into it.
Right.
Let me ask you a question from a musical standpoint. Outside of battle rap, from a musical standpoint, who are some of your influences in terms of making music?
Ooh. Question. Influences making music. Jay is my favorite, by far. Eminem is, I won't say by far. Eminem is right there. I gotta say, Jay and M are right there for me. Also like Nas, Big Pun, I listen to a lot. You know what I'm saying? When I first started rapping, Big Pun was one of my biggest influences.
Okay. So if I had to ask you, right?
Yep.
If I had to ask you, were you a Jay fan or a Nas fan? Which way would you lean? Because people act like you only could be one. I mean, everybody likes both, but if I had to give you a choice, Jay or Nas, who you going with?
Jay.
No doubt.
Easy.
All right, no doubt. Let me ask you this question now.
Yes,
give me an artist that you like that no one would suspect that you like from a hip hop standpoint. Someone that's not known, like a Pun or a Jay, Nas, M. Someone, but you like him though.
Right. I'm a big fan of. I like Ghostface, man.
Oh man,
I like Ghostface a lot.
Yo,
and
I love Ghostface.
I don't know. He's one of my favorites, man. That Pretty Tony album.
Listen, Ghost, in my opinion, I get in arguments all the time, but Ghost to me is the best in the Wu, and I know people probably have some comments about that. But Ghost and Ray are always my two favorites. But Ghost, as the time has went on, and he continues to put out quality music. Yeah, he's got to be up there. All right, well, let me ask you this question. Back to battling. Who were your influences in the battle culture when you were coming up that said, I want to do this when you watched him perform?
Right. Lux and Mook, man, is the two biggest ones. Like literally, I try to be the perfect emulation of both, so to speak. Like not consciously, but when I think about the best battle rappers, that's what I see. I see Lux and I see Mook, and I see them going 9 rounds. You know what I'm saying? When I think of the best battle, if you told me I could watch one battle for the rest of my life, that's the one it would be. You know what I'm saying? So that Lux and Mook to me were my biggest influences. Rex was also a big influence. A little later on, after I kind of picked up on some other battle rappers and things, I really started to like Rex. But But those three right there, man, are definitely my biggest influences as far as how I rap or why I rap the way I do.
I got you. You know what's crazy because people still debate the Lux and Mook battle to this day. So
Word.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. If you had to judge that battle, who would you give the battle to?
Lux.
Lux? Okay. That one you didn't even think about that one, huh? So
Nah, I thought about that a lot. Trust me. And I've gone back and forth in times. You know what I'm saying? When I
yeah,
first watched it for a long time, I thought Mook. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Especially with Lux when he slipped up that one round and Mook came back like that. That to me like was when Mook kind of edged it and took the lead and kind of held on to it. But as I got older and I really started to learn stuff and really appreciate how Lux puts his shit together, I
hmm
started to lean toward Lux a little bit further down the road.
Yeah, I got you. It's funny because I'm gonna be perfectly honest. When I first saw the battle, I was rooting for Mook because Mook was a Smack guy. So it was like every time
Word.
Smack dropped a DVD, it was like, who's Mook battling next? So it's
Right.
sort of like a good guy, bad guy thing going. But then I'm like, oh, he's giving him the business. So I've
Word.
also went back and forth on that battle. And it's interesting you mentioned that as like your favorite battle because just this past year, the battle with you and JC, a lot of people are calling
Word.
it the new era's version of the Lux and Mook. Because of how it took place, the small atmosphere, and I mean
Right.
it's a classic battle. But you had
Yep.
arguably three of the top battles in the past year, right? So your name is like skyrocketed with the work you put in.
Oh yeah.
Outside of your battles, what other battles impressed you this past year? Like, what was your favorite battle? Well, matter of fact,
Um,
even include yours. What was your favorite battle out of the three classics that you had? Most people consider the M City a classic, the B Magic, and the JC. So
right. To me, me and JC to me is the best battle to come out in a very long time. So that to me is my personal number one. As maybe it sounds biased, but
okay,
it really is to me. But right up there with it are some others, and I'll tell you what they are.
okay,
Big T and Surf,
crazy,
I watch religiously, still
yeah,
to this day.
yeah.
That one's up there. Um, let's see, last year, Shoddy and Arsenal, I really liked. Just because it was, to me, it was like I think a lot of people were, that's their first time they seen Shoddy, and there are people, especially in America, still learning about him. I think he's crazy.
I can admit that I was one of those people. Like when I saw him, I was like, wow, he's really like Kyrie is usually in the round table. He watches every league, every battle, and he tells me about this guy. But when I
Same,
saw
right,
that battle, I says, okay, he's serious. He's serious. So
right.
yeah, that was a good one. What
Yeah,
else impressed
that
you
one's
though?
up there. Let me see. Um, I'm trying to remember. I've been so focused on like the battles this year that I
What
really like.
was Real Deal and B Magic last year?
Yes, Real Deal and B Magic would be one, and also actually John and Bill Collector is one of my personal favorites.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Just the style clash of it, I think is super dope.
yeah.
I don't know. I know there's one or two really big ones I'm missing that I can't remember right now. I know there's one or two obvious.
Yeah, yeah, but those are some dope battles. But you said, you may sound biased, but you think you and JC had the best, and I mean a lot of people will agree with you. A lot of people will agree
Yeah,
with you.
right, right. I think a lot of people would, but to me, it was just the essence of, like you said, it was a classic setting. With Black Star where they did Lions Den and all that.
Hmm.
Um, you know, on the eve of the biggest battle rap card there's ever been. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? With Mook, J.R. Ryder, Mickey Fax, a lot of people in the building.
yeah,
Just to watch and see. And then the fact that it was kind of like two cats still building their name. Like it wasn't like they took Hitman and John and put them there and said put on the classic.
right.
It
You're
was,
right.
you know what I'm saying? It was two guys on the come up trying to make their name that said, we feel like we should be on the stage. And me and JC had a conversation just a couple of days before the battle. And, a lot of people don't know we had actually been trying to get that battle on the stage on that card. And obviously with the theme they had going, it didn't really fit. So, we understood. But we felt like from when we decided it was going to be on URL in early June, we wanted it to be on Summer Madness. You know what I'm saying? We wanted
Gotcha.
it to be in front of that big crowd. We kind of understood and knew the potential of what the matchup could be, and it really started gaining steam after my Cash battle and after my M City battle, when people kind of really started to get hip to me. They wanted to see that matchup even more.
Well, let me ask you a question.
So
Do you think that was a gift that it didn't happen on the big stage? Because part of, like we just said, part of the magic of that battle was that it was in the small room and it was more intimate, and you could see the reactions of a J.R. Ryder or a Mook. So do you think it was kind of a gift that it didn't happen on the big stage?
it absolutely was. And if I could go back, I still wouldn't put it on the big stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
The way it turned out is way better than I ever could have expected. I fully
Okay.
expected me and JC to have a fantastic battle, and we did that, and we did more. You know what I mean? Like everything from being hit up by Alchemist, Just Blaze, Joe Budden, like to be from a city where nobody is paving the way for me,
Hmm.
and I'm kind of the first one in, kind of doing the paving.
Yeah.
It's big, man. It's huge to me, man. Like the recognition a lot of times means so much more than the money for me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
Okay. Well, I got a question based on that. We've done interviews at events with a lot of different MCs, and when we talk about who are the top up and comers, the same names are always mentioned: JC, yourself, B Magic. Y'all three, and you've battled both of them already, are the names
yep,
that always comes up. I mean, I've talked to Clips, to Arsenal. You can just watch some of the interviews on the page, and they always, even Math, they always talk about, you three guys.
word,
And one thing that I like, I kind of try to stay away from the tiers. He's top tier, he's mid tier, but we know why it
right,
exists. So my
right.
question is, after this past year you've had, a lot of people said you were the battler of the year for 2012. So in terms of the hierarchy of battle rap, where do you see yourself after the work you put in 2012?
Um, Realistically, I feel like I'm right at the verge between mid tier and top tier to me. And
Okay.
in all honesty and humility speaking, I definitely feel like I've put on some great performances. I feel like I definitely had at least 3 classics last year. Um, and despite what Verb would have you believe, I have battled killers. Trust
Got
me,
you.
JC and Magic to me are killers. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, with that being said, the only thing I feel like I have to prove is that I can compete with the bigger names. And I think once I prove that with DNA and hopefully Clips in the future, then I will comfortably put myself
Top
as
tier. Got you.
top tier.
Got you, got you. Well, let me ask you a question. Now that you have made a name for yourself, you've put on for your city, and everybody knows who you are in the culture. Who do you like in
Yep.
terms of up and coming guys? That maybe came in the class after you. Who would you give a shot to, and who do you think is some of the best up and coming guys that came in the class after you?
Word. That's a good question. I actually have something in the works with Norbs that um may come to fruition, but I'm definitely gonna give somebody a shot at the end of this year. Right now, I'm leaning toward Lotta Zay if he's interested.
Hmm.
But I was also thinking that I would like for Norbs to set up a tournament. I think that would be dope to do a tournament, to actually do judged battles in the PGs for the tournament, and the winner of the tournament would get a shot with me or with John, or
Yeah,
whatever. We can find
got you.
3 rappers to agree to give the winner of the tournament a shot, depending on who that person decides they want to battle. I think that would be dope. I think it would be a good opportunity for a lot of cats in the PGs who maybe don't have a big name co-signing them, or maybe it's from that small town that doesn't have a lot of support. You know what I'm saying? To give them a legitimate shot to win battles and make a name for themselves, similar to the Grand Prix almost in King of the Dot. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Or at
Um,
least that's a good idea. And that leads me to another question. Do you have any interest in battling outside the country, like King of the Dot? I mean, it's in Canada, but still, or Don't Flop, or any of those leagues? Do any of those things interest you?
they absolutely do. What I'm hoping to do, I have a URL agenda that I'm trying to get to.
Got you.
Obviously, you know what I'm saying, and kind of building on the last couple of questions. once I build myself to that top tier ranking, then I want to start stepping out. You know what I'm saying? Then I want to go to Australia or go to Don't Flop. I'm definitely gonna battle Shotty and Don't Flop. It's just gonna be a matter of when. Hopefully by the end of this year. As far as King of the Dot, that's also a definite, probably for the end of the year. I would actually like to battle Arcane, but I have my own motives there. But a lot of people want to see me in 100 Bullets. A lot of people want to see me and the West Coast QP. And some other matchups. I'm not really interested in battling QP myself.
What about Bullets though? Because Bullets is dope in my opinion. I think Bullets is one of the best in King of the Dot. What do you think about him?
I like Bullets. He's extremely talented. And I would definitely battle him. You know what I'm saying? When I finally start stepping out, I wouldn't mind taking Bullets. I definitely think he deserves a shot. Easily. You know what I'm saying? And I heard he did his thing at the PGs not too long ago.
No doubt. Let me ask you a question, because you mentioned that you have a URL agenda. How have things changed for you in terms of popularity and just recognition since, you went from your own league and you started battling on URL? Like, what's the difference between, because a lot of people who watch this will be battle rappers who may not have hit the URL stage or got URL recognition.
Right.
We know this is the biggest league, but if you can just give us an example of why, like, what is something that's changed since you made your, transition to the URL?
Right. A lot of things, man. I feel like there's a lot more interest on a local level. There's a lot more interest in what's going on in URL, and then even some of these other leagues like iBattle and other local leagues in the area outside of Shark Tank, which is the league I run. It's crazy. Like, and I was just telling somebody this the other day. On Twitter when I kind of got into it with those, kind of not. Depends how you look at it, I guess. But anyway, we exchanged some words, and basically there was a lot of people from my city who were watching who said, "Yo, ain't that the dude that got snuffed by Math? Like, yo, what is he talking about?" And it's weird because that's never happened on any level that I've ever seen. Any Boston people even interested in what goes on with URL or with battle rap in general, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's a beautiful thing, man. So I feel like it's brought a lot more awareness to what I do on a local level.
Yeah, so basically it's sort of like they co-sign, and like their co-sign, makes more people watch what you're doing, more or less.
Right. Right. And I feel like it makes more people watch what they're doing as well, because I think a lot of people see it almost in a sense of Chilla's in the major leagues, or you know what I'm saying? Like he's with the best of the best. So a lot of people kind of just keep up with it only to see how I'm doing or how things are going for me. But they're starting to develop an interest in other battle rappers and stuff too. So it's a beautiful thing. I want to bring an event out here at some point, even if it's a PG. You know what I'm saying? I would love to do that. So that's what I'm trying to do.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, let's talk about some bars. I mean, you're known for your schemes. You're known for your schemes. And I can tell you, I'm a sports blogger, so I understand how difficult it is to be creative and write. But some of your schemes, man, they're very intricate. How long does it take to actually put something like that together?
That's a good question. It could be quick if I'm inspired. If I see something that triggers an idea, it can be quick. Or I can have an idea, I can write it down. If I don't get the most out of that idea, a lot of times I'll scrap it. You know what I mean? So I might just have random words written on a piece of paper, and I might just keep it. And then one day I'll look at it and be like, try to work with it, try to play with it, see what I can do.
Now are you a writer that writes all the time, or you just get in the mode once you get a battle and then you start writing, or do you like write on an everyday basis? And just okay, got you. So that
every day, and a lot of it honestly is because I watch battles every day. You know what I'm saying? Whether it might be 1, it might be 10. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I could watch a battle and I can watch like just randomly. I can watch like Hitman and John, and I can just hear a word that will trigger something. for
Okay,
me.
got you.
A bar or a scheme or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like little things like that happen to me all the time. So I write every day. Um, might be a little bit, might be a lot. That's when I come up with a lot of my scheme ideas. Now, I also build on my schemes over time. So if I have 2 months of preparation and I have a scheme done in 2 weeks, I'm still probably going to take another month to build on that scheme and say, what else can I add to it? What else can I add to it? What else can I add to it? You know what I'm saying? And by the
Yeah.
time it's showtime, it's become so intricate and so in tune and connected that it just gets so fluent. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's interesting. I have another question building on that.
sure.
Because you are known for your schemes, do you think it's a gift and a curse? And what I mean by that is, will people allow you to try something different in the ring, or will they always want you to just do schemes, or is it a situation where you know they won't give you an opportunity to try something else as a writer? Like if you try to come out and be punch heavy, or tell a story or things like that, do you think that now you kind of pigeonhole yourself into being the scheme guy, so to speak?
Mm.
Or do you think that people will allow you to, like, be versatile?
Um, I think I think a lot of my fans would be disappointed if I didn't scheme.
Okay.
I think maybe people who don't necessarily consider themselves fans of me may even appreciate if I took a different route.
Hmm.
But nah, I legitimately think I can try different stuff and do different stuff and not, I don't feel like I have to scheme, you know what I mean, by any means. I mean, my whole second round for Magic was punchlines, with the
Hmm.
exception of I think I did like a small medicine scheme, but everything else in that second round was just all punchlines. And if you think about like a lot of the bars that people know me for, they're actually punchlines and not schemes. To follow you with the chopper like a high speed chase,
Yeah.
the when this dickhead get cut, a suit for circumcised. There's a lot of bars that a lot of people like that are just punchlines. You know what I'm saying? And people, without even realizing it, will tell me those are my best bars, and in the same breath tell me that all I do is scheme.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
So it's crazy, but
It's true. I just know that, like, sometimes when you watch like MCs and they're known for one thing, I'll give you an example. I was laughing at some people who were talking about Math, and they said, all Math does is bully and talk tough, and he should joke more. And then Math comes out in the battle and jokes more, and they're like, why is Math joking in this battle? We like the
right,
same people. You know what I mean?
right,
So I
right.
just wonder, like, well, sometimes as a writer, do people, want you just to stay one course, or will they allow you to, like, try different things? You know.
Right.
But
Right.
only time will tell. But let me ask you another question. You talked about judging battles. So what is your opinion on the battles not being judged for the most part? Do you think they should be judged, and do you think that would change things within the culture?
Um, I think battles should remain promotional for the most part because I think if we're gonna start judging battles, it's battle rap is gonna have to really become an industry that people can live off of. Because otherwise, I feel like it's best as a tool to help promote something else. Whether it's your music, I use it to promote my music and my battle league. Some people use it to promote websites. Whatever your motivation for battling is, you're usually not trying to be a battle rapper for your entire life.
Hmm.
Whereas with a musician, you can make a career off of making music. If we're gonna start judging battles and keeping records and doing that, I feel like that's the only logical direction it would have to go to.
Got you.
If you know what I'm saying, if that's gonna happen. So I think battles should remain promotional for the most part.
Do you think
Um,
there'll ever be a day where it could be its own industry and it could be a way people just make a living? Do you see that in the future?
I do, and I think that door will open a lot sooner once battle rap breaks through to television.
Okay.
If and when that happens, I think you're gonna see that battle rap actually, if it doesn't become an industry of its own, it will literally catapult people to be able to live from it.
Got you. Got you. Got you. All right, but before we get you out of here, we got to ask you some sports questions. We know you rep for the Patriots, but do you root for all Boston teams? Are you an all Boston guy?
Yes, I am.
Okay, okay. Well, let me ask you.
All Boston. Yep.
As we say this, the Celtics are down, 1-0, getting ready to play again. What do you think the Celtics season will look like? Do you think they have a chance of beating the Knicks, or?
Hurts. No, I don't think I don't I don't think we'll beat the Knicks. Sorry, boss. I don't think we'll beat the Knicks.
Nah,
Not right now. We're too hurt. We don't have Rondo. I feel like KG and Paul Pierce are on their last leg. Melo's playing like out of this world right now. I just don't see it happening. I wish it could happen. I think we'll take them to 6. I
okay.
think that's as close as we'll
What's your
get.
prediction? What's your prediction for the NBA playoffs? Who do you have winning the whole thing?
Heat.
Okay. And what about coming out the West? Who do you think the Heat will play in the finals?
That's a good question. I legitimately think it'll be OKC.
Yeah, it looks like a rematch this year, right?
I think OKC, but you can never really count out the Spurs.
Yeah.
And my favorite team out west is the Clippers, so I'm hoping that the Clippers can make it through. But I think it'll be OKC.
Okay, OKC and the Heat. All right. Well, the draft's coming up football-wise. What do you think about your Patriots moving towards this season? Of course, you're going to be one of the favorites as always. As long as Brady and Belichick are there, you're one of the favorites. But I guess I'm just going to ask you: think you guys have a legitimate shot at winning the bowl this year?
I do. I think it's going to depend a lot on 2 things. One of them is our secondary.
Mm-hmm.
We got killed by Baltimore in the last half of that game. Once to live one out. Couldn't do nothing with Bolden. You know what I'm saying? I felt like if he had stayed in the game, we actually probably could have snuck that game out. So I think a lot of it depends on the secondary. If we can beef up the secondary, get a couple new guys to kind of patch up some holes, that'll be 1. 2, I think it's going to depend on a lot of how we can replace Welker. I'm hoping that Danny Amendola does his thing. He seems like a younger version of Wes, so we'll see how that works. But I think those are going to be, if we can get those 2 things under control, I think we'll make it back to the bowl.
Cool. That's what's up, man. Before we get you out of here, what do you have going on musically? You talked about promoting your music. What do you have out currently that the people can get a hold of, and what are you working on?
Yep. So if you go to chillajones.bandcamp.com, my last solo release is called Juggernaut. That's up there for free download. I've done 2 collaboration mixtapes since then with my homie Riz, called High Def. One of them is High Def, HIGHDEF. The other one is The Passion. Those are both on NatPiff for free download. So go grab those, check them out, see what I do on the music. As far as coming up, I have an EP I'm working on. Should be like a 6-7 track release I'm working on. Some pretty solid music I'm really happy about. I've been working on it for almost a year.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get that ready. I would love to be able to drop that with the DNA battle whenever that drops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would guess that would be in July, August time. So that's what I'm shooting for the EP. The EP is called Welcome to Bosstown. And it's gonna be crazy, man. I'm about 4 songs in, and it's pretty crazy. So just gotta bang out some other songs, and that'll be what it is, man.
Yeah, I'm amazed when I go to the battles, the battle rappers that don't have music with them. I would think that from a marketing standpoint, that'd be the best time to drop your stuff is when you're in front of your fans, because they're battle fans, and a lot of times they like the support. So but hopefully you'll get it done by that battle. So you definitely have DNA coming up.
Yep.
What do you think about DNA as an opponent, and how are you preparing for this battle?
It's weird because I feel like this is the first battle that I should be the underdog,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I'm not.
Interesting.
It's weird. Everybody, and this is nothing against DNA, but I feel like so many people have hit me up and said, "Don't battle DNA," or "You shouldn't battle DNA," or "DNA can't beat you." I'm sure it has a lot to do with the Shine footage coming out, and a lot of people feeling that he lost clearly or whatever. I think that battle is debatable.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's one of those things. It's one of those things in battle rap where it's like
I did give the win to K-Shine, but I can see an argument for DNA depending on if you like the second.
Yeah. it's funny because it's like, what have you done for me lately? Like DNA has an amazing resume, and he's a young guy. He's been in the ring with a lot of people, but people only judge you based on your last battle. So I'm looking forward to that battle. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway, man, before we get you out of here, how can the people get in contact with you if they want to get in contact with you?
Twitter, man, hit me up at Chilla Jones. You know what I'm saying? I'm always on there. I interact with as many people as I can. So hit me up. You got a question for me? Ask me a question. You just want to say what up? Holla at me, man. I'm always on there.
No doubt. Chilla, man. Again, just want to thank you for your time. This is something we're trying to do with Operation Battle Rap, do some one-on-one interviews, get my little Bob Costas, Roy Firestone on. So we really appreciate you, being the first MC to come on, with us. And we definitely want to bring you back to break down a battle with us. We would love that, in the future, put you part of the round table,
Word, yeah, whenever you're ready, man. I would love to. Definitely
Absolutely, man. Well, everybody, go check out Chilla Jones on Twitter at Chilla Jones. I'll put his Bandcamp. I'll put his Bandcamp within the description so you can take a listen to his music. And until next time, don't accept mediocrity and be steadfast in the war against ignorance. This is Operation Battle Rap, and I'll see you chumps on top.
Kuwait is the war room with 5 nights at the round table, 5 Philly